Hi, and welcome to the Agrifoods for You, the Women and Men podcast, where we discuss and explore solutions or proven solutions to the challenges we face in agriculture. I am your host, Harriet Mawaya. So, in today's episode, we will be discussing the apiculture, which is beekeeping aspect. The venture of beekeeping is close to my heart, and it's something that personally I have tried to do. And so we are graced to have a wonderful person who will be telling us more about it and showcasing to us how he does the apiculture. Right. So please become part of our community, subscribe to our channel, tell a friend to tell a friend, and stay tuned. So let's dive into this. I welcome Alvin to our podcast.
Thank you very much.
Please go ahead and introduce us.
Okay, thank you so much, Harriet. My name is Alvin again, Alvin Odiede Coach. Uh, I wear many hats and I wish just to briefly introduce the different hats before I become a deep dive into the main topics for the day. So, Alvin is a beekeeper, Alvin is a farmer, uh, Alvin is also a sports enthusiast. So uh, currently, I would say I'm the co-founder of Karyos Honey and Bee Solution Center, startup agriculture and bee and beekeeping venture, looking at how we can improve beekeeping as a practice and embed it in the day-to-day actions of farmers and even look at how can we tackle the opportunities that exist in teaching.
Yeah.
So maybe we should take us a step back
Yes.
and
So the other
just
thing hats.
and look at also the other house
Yeah.
as a farmer. Uh, as I mentioned, I am wearing many hats on farming specifically. I also support uh, farming at the grassroots level. We're providing extension services to farmers. Uh, and this specifically is looking at what are the challenges that farmers are facing, what are the current challenges, what are our needs, and how we support them to also be able to be more resilient to the current global challenges of climate change. And it's very interesting because it has made me learn about the curiosity of farmers and how farmers really are interested to learn new technologies and also experiment with new practices. So that's what I do with regards to farming. And on the sports picture piece,
Yes.
I think that's one thing that I've done of the longest. If I can compare
Yes.
the three hats I wear, I think for sports it's very very interesting because it's something I've embraced since my high school life, focusing on rugby, going to campus and still again doing rugby,
Yeah.
and even post campus. Now in the world of looking for opportunities, I still try to put in a few hours just to support rugby by working with kids and training them on the sport and building their capacity of the sport.
Interesting.
So precisely with Karyos Honey, that's where it's at the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Uh, really starting off with the story of Karyos Honey starts for me back. Starts from interest that I generated during my academic work at the University of Nairobi, where I studied a bachelor's in rangeland management. Honestly, if you ask someone what rangeland management is, very few will answer that it is.
I also did range management for my bachelor.
Wow, interesting, interesting. And if you were to ask someone on the street, what is rangeland management? And they'll be like, Range Rover, first Ranger. Okay, Ranger. They'll say Range Rover first. Another will say Ranger. They'll be like, what? Okay. And then they'll be curious, what is rangeland management? So maybe you can start with understanding where rangeland management is, being a science that tries to look at how do we improve the natural, the natural ecosystems. How do we tap on the opportunities that exist within dryland systems?
Yes.
Considering Kenya and uh, Kenya is 80% rangeland.
Yes.
That's a fact. Kenya is 80% rangeland. That means rangeland means a land that you cannot produce using conventional agriculture.
Exactly.
So you can't use the natural, the normal farmer practices to be able to produce from it. Again, considering we depend on rain-fed agriculture, it makes it again very worse.
Yeah.
So you find that these are lands that are generally very dry, with flora and fauna that is only resilient to those species.
Yes.
And majority, if you look at northern side of Kenya,
Yeah.
northern side of Kenya is red light 95%.
Yes.
Go to south east of Kenya, also there are areas again that showcase the same. If you go to Nyanza, there are still areas that again show a little bit of rainfall aspects. So all these coastal region again.
Yeah.
So if you combine all these, sums up around 80% of our country,
Yeah.
which was a big opportunity
Yes.
in terms of how what opportunities can we try to leverage all in these ecosystems. And in terms of the opportunities, one, you see wildlife is there.
Yes.
Wildlife exists very well in wetlands. Livestock also exists the same.
Yeah.
And also we have some drought tolerant vegetation that exists there.
Yeah.
Water is very little, very scarce.
Yeah.
And based on now what we've been experiencing in these areas, one of the opportunities that really has stood out as a low hanging fruit for farmers, and communities in the redland areas, apart from wildlife, apart from livestock, also beekeeping, which is still categorized as livestock. Beekeeping has also really showed up.
Yeah.
If you look at our history, beekeeping has existed for over the past 1,500 years. It has been practiced, and it has been practiced in a very traditional way, whereby people, farmers, just hang locally made beehives from local material.
Yeah.
They hang them in the spaces, and they put them in caves.
Yeah.
And then they wait for bees to colonize.
Yeah.
And then after some time they come and harvest.
Yeah.
And then how they're harvesting again, it's very traditional.
Yeah.
Very traditional, whereby they just go and they light a fire. They use some shavings. They use some residues of plants, of trees, leaves, and then they burn them. And then the bees definitely will be affected by the smoke, and they can harvest very quickly.
Yeah.
That is very traditional.
Very. Yeah.
The honey is very good because it's very natural.
Yeah.
It's being produced in a natural ecosystem.
Yeah.
But however, we are fighting challenge with the process of harvesting. And this definitely will also influence the quality of the honey that we have. So
both the quality and the quantity.
very good. Again, that's part of the slogan that Karyos Honey looks at, looking at how we can increase the quantity and also improve the quality of the honey that we are producing. That's very important for us.
Yeah.
And we feel that for us to be able to make this change,
Yeah.
it's important that we work directly in farmers and address their direct needs. And their direct needs speak into what tools are we using right now. We appreciate that, yes, honey has been produced for a long time.
Yes.
It has been known as one of the best preservatives
Yes, it is.
since time immemorial.
Yeah.
But now we are at a time and age whereby we have a lot of pesticide used in our farms.
Yes.
We are at a point in time whereby climate change is very active on us. It's hitting us very hardly. So we have very little rainfall. So even in terms of the availability of water, with challenges, availability of forage, feed-based, it's still a challenge. So we find ourselves really struggling with producing quality and quantities.
Wow.
Honestly, from the last data that we had looked at from the World Bank, they were saying that Kenya is producing around 25,000 metric tons of honey every year. and our potential is 100,000 metric tons.
Yeah, that's
so you can imagine we're only producing a quarter of the needed supply. And also the demand is so high, it's getting so high for us. And that will take me back to where it started with Karyos. The demand is so high. But now you find that farmers have not been empowered to be able to produce that much.
Yeah.
The tools that they are using are still traditional. Climate change is here with us.
Yeah.
So you find a farmer who should be able to produce up to maybe 100 kilograms. That's 100 kilograms. They don't produce 100. They produce a quarter. But so we need to ask ourselves the question: what
are we doing?
And we as the experts, what we need to defend. So Karyos Honey started in the year 2021. That's when we were able to register ourselves as a limited company. As and the co-founder. And here Karyos Honey. Someone is waiting to hear Alvin somewhere.
Yes. I'm like Karyos.
So who's Karyos? That's the question. Who's Karyos?
Yeah.
So in terms of how the story started, I was just doing errands in town.
Yes.
I had already Corona was with us, 2020. People had been struggling COVID, and people were trying home remedies to be able to satisfy their needs and also to overcome the Corona, right? So honey was a very major ingredient during the Corona period. In fact, every household was looking for honey, and this made the supply for honey became so little. The demand was so high and the supply was so little to a point honey prices fluctuated. And we found ourselves at a point whereby a kilogram of honey was going at 1,000 Kenyan shillings.
Yes.
And you can imagine what that means for that. We call them wanjiko in our Kenyan context. For that layman in the street, that's again too expensive for the driven process. But now that's where we were. I had started a small. I just started selling honey at a very small scale level at that point during the COVID period, due to my contacts at the National Beekeeping Institute. During my attachment, I did my attachment at the National.
I also did my attachment there. Yes. Before I graduated with a bachelor in range management.
That's interesting. Yeah, I did mine also there for 3 months.
Okay.
And also able to get the certification at the end of it all.
I also made actually a modern beehive.
Yes.
I did.
Well, have you set it up somewhere? Did you set it up?
What? Yes, what I did after the assessment, you are allowed to carry your beehive, take it wherever you want. So I took it home and I gave it to one of my uncles who practices mommy keeping.
Yes, that's empowering us.
Yes. That was a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely. I also did my attachment at the Beekeeping Institute, and that's why I really internalized what really does beekeeping as an opportunity look like. So from the contacts I made there, I still will touch base with a few guys there who are from the workshop, who are in the quality assurance department, and during that COVID period, uh, because of my links again, I was able not to source this honey because all they were able to aggregate it from farmers.
Yeah.
So I will tell them I need these kgs of honey, and I was not looking at it as something very big, which is very tiny, because I would just say, give me like, I need 10 kgs. And you say, that's little, Alvin. You will be asking for more in the feeling. And you just, let me give you, let me just give you 20 kgs, start with 20 kgs. I'll give you on credit. Once everyone has paid, you can pay me back. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I said, okay, no worries.
So you began as a middleman.
Exactly. So I was just for my friends.
Okay.
For my friends, just sourcing from them and directing out to the end users.
Yeah.
And I was just doing honey only, and I was only sending you 1 kgs.
Okay.
If you ask me a smaller quantity,
Yeah.
look at you, the greens. Why?
I only have
I only have 1 kg. So again, that was limited.
Yeah.
So I did that for some period of part time for Corona 2020, reach 2021, trying to balance it in my day job again.
Yeah.
And uh, one day when I was just doing errands in town, I bumped into one of my high school buddies, and he was carrying a very heavy luggage. On both sides, he was, hey, let me assist you guys. Yo, I feel like you're struggling here. Let me assist you. We had a chip chat, been a while before we'd seen each other. I saw he was headed somewhere. Said you were looking for long. Asked him, what are you carrying? He said that I'm going to deliver an order for honey. Oh wow. Okay. Mm, uh, and he said, what do you be? What I'm also in the holidays. It's just started. Just what you can have a conversation.
Yeah.
When are you available? And it's a contact.
Yeah.
And that's when Josiah Karaoke and Alvin were met.
Oh, so that's why the Karyos.
Yes.
I see. I see. Karaoke.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Kari stands for karaoke.
Yes.
Yes. So we were able to have a sit down, and he was able to explain to me what he had done so far, how he has started, the steps he has made, and at that point in time, he had already registered a business name. Yes, you first register business name, but then you register business name before you can now
Yeah.
make it now a limited company. So he had registered a business name, and I felt that that was a step ahead
Yeah.
because I was used to do that. I was
Yeah.
really at a very small level, and we agreed. Let us utilize his business name as we continue thinking around what does our partnership look like,
Exactly.
and formalize our partnership.
Awesome.
So yeah, we continued, but he was sharing with me that he's having challenges with sourcing politically. That's one. And also something else. He was not just selling honey.
Yeah.
For him, he was selling a type of honey called crunchy honey.
Okay.
So where he had done some fusion of honey with
Wait, there are like different types of honey
yes.
quality. Okay.
So not quality per se, there are different flavors.
Flavors. Okay.
Yes. So what he had done, he had infused honey with sisig.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So for him, it was not selling pure honey. He was selling crunchy honey, which is same infused
With honey.
with honey. And that actually was interesting to me because me, I just said,
Yes, and I'm actually had of it now.
just like me, just say, and for you, say, yeah, I saw crunchy honey. It's my, I don't think there's anybody doing this honey in Kenya.
In
But
Kenya.
so that's the space that I decided to venture in. I said, okay, wow. So the challenge, one, getting quality hand was a problem.
Was a problem complex.
And for me, I felt like crunchy honey was, we had taken a big leap.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. So we had an honest conversation around it, and I told him if it's sourcing for honey, uh, we can try and use leverage on my networks.
Yeah.
And then we can just go back to the basics.
Yeah.
Right now, the biggest challenge that that consumers are facing, even it was just COVID period, not yet, the lockdowns were still there.
Yeah.
So people are still facing the challenge of uh, demand is high,
Yeah.
supply is low. But anything a new actor in the game. Who are all these actors? These are the actors who do a lot of, what do we call it? They do a lot of they do what? They mix the bananas with sugars.
Oh,
They are in
yeah.
so
They spoil
they
it.
is a word. There's a specific word for it. I forgot it. But these guys, they came in and they
Fake
were
honey.
fake honey was in the market. And this was really alarming because people would buy honey and they're like, this honey is fake. Yeah, it is.
Not the real.
This is not the real honey.
No.
I've been trying to even treat my kid with it and it's not working out.
Yes.
So what's wrong with this honey? You honey sellers are all fake.
Mm-hmm.
Adulteration was so high.
Yes.
Honey adulteration happened in the period 2020-2022.
Yes.
A lot of honey adulteration. Yes. Because demand here, honey was so high.
Yeah.
So based on that, we agreed that we can try my supplier we can try my networks because there was a surety of the quality that I was able to get from them.
Okay.
And then we will see how the business will look like from there. And then we say we have to stop looking at the currency honey for. We put it on a hold.
Yes.
We just focus on honey.
On the
And first of all,
high.
serve the needs of the customers. They just want real honey that is not adulterated. And that should work. So I told her I just used to take 10 kgs and sell. Maybe in a month I'd sell 10 kgs. But now, after partnering with Karyos to Saya, we saw ourselves in from, I saw myself in from the 10 kgs and I will find myself 50 kgs within 2 weeks. Wow. 50 kgs are sold.
Yes.
And we started that one. We'll get the honey packaged in 20-liter jerry cans.
Yes.
And then we will now repackage it into 1 kilogram, into half kilogram, and also 250 grams.
250.
And we'll stop up to 50 grams.
Okay.
So now at least if someone asks me, I just want the tiny one to try.
Yes.
Because there are people who
Right.
yes, because definitely customers, market demands, customers will always be skeptical. Considering the situation they had faced earlier, they'd be like, I just need the 250 grams to test. If it works, I can now ask for a bigger quantity. And that really worked. I noticed lots of numbers now in terms of what we are selling. And we are now selling all the different packaging quantities from 1 kilogram to half kilogram, going all the way down.
Interesting.
And we felt we need to have formalize this
Yes.
because we had started on a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay. So the farmers that you are getting the honey from, did you now go back to them and showcase them with their technologies, or how would you think now that to the franchise or the ventures?
It's a long story. I'll try to cut it short. So we've started noticing numbers are coming, demand is high, but again, we can only depend on one source.
Yeah.
So we started looking for opportunities for scaling the business.
Okay.
Yes. So we needed funds to go to scale. And we started seeking for opportunities. We sent proposals here and there.
Yeah.
We were lucky. Late in 2020, we were able to get financing from Kenya Climate Innovation Center.
Oh, wow.
We were able to fund our venture.
Yeah.
On a results-based financing, up years, and where the model that we were voting for at that moment was we were going to support farmers on a loan basis.
Okay.
Loan basis, provision of modern equipment. We've already identified the problem. The problem is that we have challenges in quality, and quantity, and traditional methods are really, really dominant.
Yes.
So how can we transit them from traditional tools to modern tools? And that's where now after getting the financing, we were able to purchase equipment. Equipment to be able to help us to produce hives in bulk.
Yeah.
And these hives, we say that we'll first of all seek out these farmers who are interested in the venture, who had actually some issue background or already doing something. And then we'll come up to a contractual agreement agreeing that we are going to pre-finance you at these highs. But then this contract binds us so that you'll only be supplying the honey to us.
To us. Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
for this period.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were able to finally come to document everything, and we started with 15 farmers. And each farmer we gave them 10 hives.
Okay.
Yes.